Sportsman drivers, let's go, gentlemen. We're starting with or without you. All sportsman drivers. Southern All-Star late models, get them in staging. Southern All-Star late models, get them in staging ASAP. All right, race fans, sportsman drivers.
All right. Well, Sportsman late model on the racetrack for their time trials. Brian Bird's first car out on the racetrack in 865. Brian Bird out of Clinton, Tennessee. And Burgess' first lap's a 13.241. On the 22, having trouble on his lap. That's Chance Lay in the 22L. 12.832 for the Brian Burge. If the 22 can get it through turn 4 this time. As Chance Lay will go a 13.450. So, first time I've seen Chance Lay here at Wartburg Speedway. I may be wrong about that. And the 21 feature winner. That's Braxton Swint. Oh, Braxton Swint. Out of Sunbright. And Swint sets the mark at a 12.585 to the top of the leaderboard. And the 83. Caleb York on the pole with a 12.452. And Braxton Swint second. And York will stand on that first lap. Caleb York finding a lot of speed here the last couple of weeks. All about had the last time Wartburg Speedway race 2 weeks ago. Caleb York was in control all up until the very end of the race. Let it slip away. Sometimes they say you got to lose one before you can win one, but Caleb York sitting in a good spot with a good lap. 12.452 is the mark to beat. S. That's Levi Williams in the 15, and Shane Bullock in the B2 will go third with a 12.684. See if Williams can pick it up. Levi Williams still fifth, and the 2 of Bullock going to stay third. No move. Yeah, second lap a little better, but did not move up any. Still third, so it's Caleb York in the 83, 21 of Braxton Swint, and the B2 of Shane Bullock. Tedlow going to trip the clock in his 00. Long-time racer here at Wartburg Speedway. Tedlow go fourth with a 12.790. Jeremiah Bird's not the lap he was looking for. 8. 12.959 that lap. For Ted Lowe. Jeremiah Bird will move up to 7th. the Z1 of Zach Shannon. Picked up a couple of feature wins here the last couple of weeks. So Zach Shannon will clock in with a 12.868, and that's good enough for 6. Zach got the feature win last time out here at Wartburg Speedway 2 weeks ago. And the 1C of Colt Devereaux will go 7th. And Zach Shannon will move up to 4th. And the 1C moves to the top of the chart. Colt Devereaux tops Caleb York with a 12.420 to a 12.452. So just a couple hundred separating those guys. The 15S Selena Burge out on the racetrack. She looks like maybe a different car this week for Selena, along with the 03 of Robert Russell. Oh, the 03 loops it around off the corner. Not sure if he had a brake lock up or what, but both drivers kind of having trouble with Selena Burge at GRT. We're back live on Facebook. So, tuning in, the Southern All-Star Super Late Model will be coming up for their qualifying. So we just have one more car to qualify here in the Sportsman Late Models, and it's the 1C of Colt Devereaux on the pole, and Caleb York is outside. So their feature action will be coming up later on. Maybe a little bit of a changing of the guard here in the Sportsman division. This was a heck of a race last time out 2 weeks ago. They got rained out last week, as it was the Z1 of Zach Shannon taking the win that night, but it was highly contested amongst about 4 cars. 21 of Braxton Swint. Caleb York led most of the way. Just one of the better races I've saw this year here at Wartburg Speedway, and somehow Zach Shannon put it up on that outside and managed to get it done. They're coming to the white flag. So we're looking forward to their feature coming up later on here, as it's time for the Super Late Models roll out for their qualifying session. So I'll turn the microphone over to the voice of the Southern All-Stars. As if you're going to join us live on Facebook, tell your friends, share, like. If you like what you see, you can go watch all tonight's action live on Dirt Rich TV. Just go to www.dirtrich.tv.com. It's one-time buy.
To win Super Late Model event. Getting ready here for qualifying. Dirt Ridge TV going to be doing a live look-in of qualifying action. Of course, that is courtesy of VP Racing Fuels, our friends over there with VP. So another great sponsor of the Mountaineer 50 coming up at Beckley Motor Speedway 1 week from today. Ronnie Johnson, the Chattanooga Flash, current series points leader in the Capital race car, down in the staging area. Series Director and Southern All-Star Series owner Ray Cook ready to send them down in the staging area. And here comes the Chattanooga Flash, Ronnie Johnson, the three-time Southern All-Star champion. He'll be the first one to roll out onto the Speedway for VP Racing Time Trials, followed by the Bear Ride Icon, the also Schaefer's All Summer Nationals champion for the Southern National portion. Of course, you got that spring and then the summer portion. Cade Lowdy, the champion of the summer portion. Garrett Smith, your spring champion. Remember my race pass live timing and scoring. Cade Lowney with an 11.877. Ronnie Johnson, the Chattanooga Flash, with a 12.263. Next two drivers definitely going to be hammered down as well. Bilstein Racing, Shocks, Vision Sims Construction, Longhorn for the two-time winner with the Southern All-Stars. It's going to be Tucker Anderson. Anderson going to bring it alive of turn number 3 and 4. The driver to Blairsville, Georgia. Green flag. Behind him in the blue, 57M, Moyler Auto Born entry. He'll work it down in the corner. Bilstein Racing Shocks. It is Cameron Moyler. Moyler out of Winfield, Tennessee, down in the corner, working off of it as well. He'll come back to the line. New quick time, Cameron Moyler to the top of the board with an 11.549 for Cameron Moyler. Tucker Anderson second quick. Cade Lowdy, Ronnie Johnson back to the line. That 11.54 going to be the best time put up by the Winfield, Tennessee native of Cameron Moyler. Cameron Moyler, top of the board. Tucker Anderson, Cade Lowdy, Ronnie Johnson. Here comes Dylan Tidmore in the rocket ship. The driver out of Gadsden, Alabama. He'll work over turn number 3 and 4. He'll move in that rocket chassis down into turn number 1, followed by the 3 machine of Steve Smith. The driver out of Powell, Tennessee. Phantom Racing Engines on that 3 machine there for Steve Smith out of Powell, Tennessee. Back to the line. Gadsden, Alabama's own Dylan Tidmore. Tidmore going to time it in 5th quick with a 13.794 for the driver that went to victory lane in his home state earlier this year at Alabama, and also picked up the win at Winder Speedway in Winder Barrow, Georgia. Tidmore going 4th quick. He'll move up 1 spot on that second lap with an 11.941 there for Dylan Tidmore. Steve Smith with a 12.853 will be 6th quick. All drivers will move on to the main event. We'll take 23 on to the dance for 5K. Here comes the one to watch in the Tomcat entry. That sweet victory. Bilstein Shocks number 24. It's going to be Anthony White Jr. Behind him in the Henry Trucking. Henry's Tire Service, Cantrell Trucking on the side of that entry as well. It's Josh Boo Henry in Newport, Tennessee. The Boo crew going to work down the back straightaway. Anthony White Jr. over turn number 3 and 4. Checkers in the air. Anthony White going to go 3rd quick as it stands with an 11.668. Josh Boo Henry with an 11.805. He'll currently stay 4th quick there for Josh Henry. 3rd for Anthony White Jr. Still Tucker Anderson 2nd, but everybody chasing the 57M of Cameron Moyler. Rolling out onto the speedway. It is going to be the 5 of David Crabtree, the driver to Maryville, Tennessee. And also the driver in the number 17 machine out of Alabama, the former champion in Billy Franklin and winner earlier this year at West Alabama Motor Speed. Oh, Billy Franklin bouncing off the wall. Back in the throttle in the Rocket XR1. We'll see what kind of damage it did on the right side. Not bad at all, just basically bounced it off. A little bit of quarter panel damage, but not much. He'll lose it off the corner. Crabtree back to the line, 7th quick with an 11.968. Billy Franklin going to be 9th quick with a 12.323. Rolling out onto the speedway. He was quick in the top 5 earlier on during my race pass. Fantasy Racing League hot laps. VP Racing Fuels want to thank them for their sponsorship of qualifying. It is a driver out of Franklin, North Carolina. Oh, Evan Harrell going to kiss the wall down at 3 and 4. But I think it got the right front. The right front is towed in on that entry. Evan Harrell kissed the wall, got the Wartburg stripe, and it got the right front. Mod, Mini, and Street. You need to be in staging. Mod, Mini, and Street. You need to be in the staging area. Race fans, glad for you to be here tonight at Wartburg Speedway. Also, if you're watching on Dirt Rich TV, glad to be here. Keith Adcock in the house, of course, the voice of the Wartburg Speedway. My name is Walter Tapp out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. The voice of the Southern All-Star Series. And here we go, green flag back in here with our second group of competitors. It is going to be the 59 of Dillard Hatchett. Hatchett, a Tennessee native, down off into turn number 3 and 4, followed by the 35. The Rocket XR1 in the Franklin, North Carolina RWS Farms entry. Dylan Daves, big wiggle, straighten it back out, but lost all the momentum there for Dylan Daves. Back to the line in the 59. Dillard Hatchett with a 12.199. Dave's trying to improve, and he does not. Lap 1 going to be his. Or no, lap 2 as it clicks there. 12.204 going to be his fastest lap. To just a small second there to update on my race passes end. Rolling out onto the Speedway, race fans. It is a driver out of Greenville, South Carolina, Fletcher Wolf in the 95, and Mike Weeks in the 22 machine. The driver out of Lenoir City, Tennessee, the veteran, Mike Weeks, going to work down into turn number 1. Fletcher Wolf in the 95W. That's not the first time that car has seen action this week. 3 hours of tire testing Monday night at Anderson Speedway on the pavement for Fletcher Wolf. He was one of our tire test cars Monday night. Back to the line. The veteran Mike Weeks with a 12.078 will go to the top of the board over Dillard Hatchett, Dylan Days, Fletcher Wolf. Rolling, of course, out onto the Speedway in the 112 machine. The driver out of Sparta, Tennessee. The 112 of Michael Luna. Rolling out onto the Speedway out of Muscle Shore, Alabama. Matthew Brocato in the 78 machine. He'll bring it to life. Matthew Brocato looking good. Never seen this place until tonight in that 78 first time here. Michael Luna back to the line. Luna with a 12.807. Of course, he's given up some horsepower with the 604 motor underneath the hood. Popped the super motor earlier this year, and of course is right there in the thick of the points battle. So he's got to continue just showing up and trying to hang on. A 12.670 there for Luna, but new quick time in the top of the board with an 11.954. How about the Muscle Shores, Alabama native? The first time he's seen the place, Matthew Brocato. Matthew Brocato, Mike Weeks, Dillard Hatchett, Dylan Daves. Fletcher Wolf, your top couple of drivers out on the speed with a driver to Cleveland, Tennessee. In that beautiful number 15 machine, it is going to be Will Hicks. Behind him in the 23 machine, the driver out of Onana, Tennessee, it's going to be Tim Dameron. Hicks back to the line. White flag there, Tim Dameron. Got a 12.751 there for Hicks. Dameron going 6 quick. He's got a 12.251. So he'll go 6 quick. Will Hicks. Make it 5th quick there for Tim Dameron as it updates. 12.222. That'll put him 5th quick. Rolling out onto the speedway. The driver out of Florida in the 55. He'll come now. Klein Johnson Enterprises on that entry for Eli Johnson. Working down the back straight of the Florida native. And behind him, of course, the 2 machine of Anthony White. Anthony getting all the way up against the wall that time. Trying to use every inch of the Wartburg Speedway here in VP Racing Fuel qualifying. And the Longhorn is Anthony White. Johnson there in the 55 machine. New quick time out of this group with an 11.741 for Eli Johnson. He has been on a tear racing anywhere and everywhere over the last couple of weeks. Went to Eldora, has went to Kentucky, went to Tennessee. Here tonight, back in Tennessee at Wartburg Speedway. Rolling out onto the speedway. Out of the Franklin Enterprises stable, it is the 317 of Kendall Franklin. Kendall Franklin now on the clock. Going to be the final car to take time here in this qualifying for this second group. White flag in the air for Kendall Franklin. He'll be second quick with an 11.880. Down into turn number 3. Can he move Eli Johnson off the pole here in Group B? Second quick.